Time now for your forewarned weather with Cedric Haynes.
All right, folks, let's get you out the door on this Thursday, and it is going to be a changing weather Thursday. So I want you to kind of pay attention, because what you see now is not what it's going to be later on today in your neighborhood, and you got to know we've got a lot of active weather moving our way. So look at these temperatures. Already a sign of some change. We got these numbers in the 50s this morning. That is quite above average for this time of the year. That means there's something happening in the atmosphere. Well, we've got those gusty southwest winds. 34 Salt Lake City, 23 in Cedar City, 25 Hanksville, 32 in Lake Powell. So we've got some gusty winds already beginning this morning. Again, a sign we must have a storm system approaching. And sure enough, it's a potent one that's making its way in from Nevada now. Ahead of it, we've got these gusty winds, clouds increasing. Now we're starting to see some showers filling in on the radar across the northwestern half of the state and down across the southwestern half of the state. But there's a whole lot more moisture off to the west coming over the Sierras as we speak, and that will be here for us as we go throughout later today. Now, believe it or not, this front is going to be pretty strong. It's going to have some dynamics with it that we haven't seen so far this winter time. One of those things that it's going to create is the chance of some instability as we go into the afternoon hours. So some of those rain showers in the valleys actually could turn into some thunderstorms. Yeah, you could hear a rumble of thunder, believe it or not. That's wild, but that's the type of front that we have coming in. In the mountains, you may even have a little thunder snow out of this system as it moves through. So we'll keep an eye on that. Now, the winter storm warnings are starting to kick off now this morning and continue as we go throughout the next 24 hours for our central and southern mountains here, even portions of our northern mountains. And that's because a lot of the moisture that moves in the mountains today above 6,500 feet is going to be all snow. But as you get down towards the south of that, that's where we'll have that rain mixing in. But either way, by this evening and tonight, that's when we're expecting some of that very difficult travel in the mountains, especially over those passes there. And traction laws will likely be required again for us as we go into this evening. We're not only talking about the heavy snow potential, but again, we're going to still see those gusty winds out there, and that could lead to some blowing snow as well. We also have winter weather advisories for the eastern Uintas, eastern portions of Juab and Millard counties, over down towards the LaSalle and Navajo Mountains. And yes, the northern Wasatch Front and the northern Wasatch Mountains here. The advisory for Lake Town, Randolph, over towards Bear River Lake there kicks off this morning. And we've got those Wasatch Front advisories in effect. That does include Ogden down through Bountiful, Salt Lake City, and Draper. And that goes into effect after 6 o'clock this evening. That's when we could actually see some of these snow squalls developing. What is that? Well, it's a short period of intense snowfall that brings gusty winds, possible whiteout conditions, and a rapid drop in temperatures and visibility. So be careful, because we could have some extremely dangerous driving conditions later this evening in some small areas along the Wasatch Front with some of those snow squalls moving on through. Let me time it out for you. Again, increasing moisture throughout the day along the I-15 corridor. Through about mid-morning, I still think it's going to be primarily just scattered rain showers in the valleys and scattered snow showers in the mountains developing. But as we go throughout the day, notice how we start to really see that moisture filling in and valley rain, mountain snow. But then in the afternoon, we're talking the heavy precipitation starting to move in. So that's going to be the potential of some valley heavy rain pockets. And notice, yeah, could have a couple of rumbles of thunder with some of that yellow and red showing up with these pockets of dark blue, some heavy mountain snow getting going, and then that front moves through about 5, 6 o'clock this afternoon, and that flips us over to snow, and those darker blues there along the I-15 corridor from Ogden down through Utah County and down to the south and west could be some of those snow squalls that develop with some very heavy snow briefly, and we'll see that snow off and on during the evening hours, tapering off by midnight, except for downwind of the lake. If you're southeast of the Great Salt Lake, could have a little lake effect snow shower activity tomorrow morning. And then we're still not done. Look at this. Friday evening, another system is knocking on the door. Snow levels will still be fairly low with this system as it moves through, so it's not going to have a ton of moisture. But what it does fall will fall as snow likely across parts of the area. So for the valleys, 1 to 4 inches. The benches, 2 to 6 inches. 4 to 8 inches for the mountain valleys. The I-15 corridor, about 2 to 4 inches. Central valleys, 1 to 3 inches. Southern valleys could even see a trace to an inch. In Cache Valley, about 1 to 4 inches as well. The mountains, of course, 1 to 2 feet. Periods of rain for us today in St. George, mid-50s. And then we could be drying things out just in time for the weekend. The Wasatch Front, rain to that evening snow. Another chance of accumulating snow on Saturday.